All right. So, good evening once again, everyone. We are starting the webinar now. So, thank you once again for joining. So, today's webinar will mostly be interactive in session, where for the first 10-15 minutes, I'll be giving you a little bit brief about how are we going to conduct the written examination, the design competency examination, and the remainder of the webinar can be used for question and answers, and any particular queries that you have can be addressed. All right. So for this session, I don't have a particular presentation per se, but I would like to explain how the process is going to work. So as you are aware from the problem statement, the design competency exam is scheduled for the second week of January, that is 12th of January, that's a Sunday, from 3:30 to 6 p.m. in the evening. Now, couple of changes in that. The format. Now, requesting you to please put yourself on mute. Okay. So, number one, it was decided by the organizing committee that this exam will not be proctored. All right. So you will get the question paper at 3:30. The question paper will be posted on our website as well as it will be sent on the WhatsApp group. Okay. And you get 2.5 hours to solve it. That is from 3:30 to 6. And then we are giving you additional 30 minutes. Maybe if you want to document it or whatever written or whatever handwritten notes you have, you would like to scan them. All right. And a Google form will be created. You will be required to submit your document in that Google form. Okay. And the deadline for that would be 6:30. So post 6:30, we will not be accepting any responses. All right. So that is how it goes for the mode of conduction of the examination. Once again, I repeat, it is not going to be a proctored examination. Okay, because we realize that for many of you, your NSEM examinations are over and you might not be on campus. Ideally, we would want all five or how many of members you are to sit together and appear for the examination. But if it is not possible, it is up to you how you coordinate with your team members. We want you to work together and come up with the solution for the questions. Okay. Now, coming to the second part, that what will be the paper pattern and other things. I'm sure mostly all of you might have gone through the mock question paper that was shared on the group earlier today. So that was just to show that the pattern will be 5 questions. Okay. We are not going to exceed 5 questions in totality. There will be 5 questions. Um, the mock paper would have given you some amount of idea of what to expect or what level of detail are we expecting. All right. Couple of quick pointers that I want to make here, that whenever you are answering questions, we want you to not state the obvious. For example, this is not your college examination where you just write the formula and you think you'll get marks, because it's an open book test, open internet, open source, you can discuss. So it won't matter if you don't know the answer, but you just write the formula, it won't help us. What we are more interested in is your approach. How did you think about the problem statement? Okay. If the question was given to you, how did you apply yourself and what logic did you apply at that particular moment? Right. That is what we are more interested in, because the formula is readily available on the internet. Okay. So that is point number one. Point number two, after submission of your answers, they will be thoroughly evaluated. Let me make it clear that there is a possibility that we might conduct a viva. All right. If we feel that we are not in a position to understand what you have done, or we want some more clarity from you people as to what you have written in the answers, so then in that case, a viva examination will be conducted shortly after your written examination. The details regarding that viva will be communicated to you in due course of time. All right. So that is regarding your examination pattern, your how are we going to evaluate it, and the viva part. All right. Any questions so far regarding this much? We will go into the technical parts a bit later, but any queries till now? You can just raise your hand, please.
Uh,
You can raise your hand because there are many participants. Requesting you to raise your hand so that I know there is someone. Okay, so Pranav Chari, please go ahead. You have asked a question.
Yeah, hi sir. My question was just how will the evaluation be done for this exam? I
All
could
right.
not get your.
So see, earlier we had thought of giving particular marks for this, but we thought that since it is a design competency exam, you are required to answer all the questions. But what I would prefer that you do is focus on how many ever questions you can, but answer them with utmost detail. All right. Don't kind of neglect on the quality of answers if you want to cover all the questions. So evaluation will be done based on the level of detail that we get for each question. All right. So please don't be under the impression that you have attempted less number of questions. Hence, that means it is going to be, a bit problematic for you. It depends on how well you have answered that question. Okay, what logic you have used, and that is how the question paper is designed, that we want to check what is your approach to solving that particular question. All right, so we are going to be very qualitative in that judgment, and that is how the evaluation is going to work. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so let me see if anyone else has raised their hand. No one. Okay, wait, there is one hand which is raised. Yes, Amitransh, go ahead. You have a question?
uh, Hello, sir. I want to ask that at the exam time, should all the team members have to sit together, or it's upon their choice?
So, to answer your question, ideally, we want all of you guys to sit together in one room so that you could brainstorm and solve the question. Okay, that is the entire objective of this exam, that you be a team and answer the questions like a team. But if in any case you are not on campus, you are not available on campus, you could probably connect online, all five of you or how four of you, whatever it is. You could make a Google Meet link or whatever, you can be connected online. Okay, and we leave that up to you. We leave that up to you how you want to handle, because that is your team dynamic. We don't want to interfere with that. From our end, we are going to give you the question paper at 3:30. We expect the answer key. We expect your submissions to come no later than 6:30 p.m. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any more questions before we go ahead? So there is one question. Will there be any question regarding software? I'm not clear. Could you please elaborate? What do you mean software? If you mean that, are we going to ask questions on, let's say, CATIA or ANSYS? No, we are not going to do that. We are not going to do that. That's pretty clear. We are not going to ask you that, okay, can you tell me what do we use this for in ANSYS? That being said, we can give you some questions, some application-based questions that might. No, you will not have to model anything. If you have gone through the mock question paper, you might have to perform some basic, to check whether the design point works or not, in constraint works or not. You might have to do some basic amount of coding, but that is something that you can do on Excel, MATLAB, anywhere. So I don't think it is a software issue per se. Okay, that
Sir,
will.
small question I have.
Yes.
Will there be any question related to where we have to use the software and answer it afterwards? Like, by the use of software, we have to answer the question,
Okay, so to
like a
answer.
problem or situation.
Yeah, so to answer your question, see, whenever we talk about a software, any so for example, if let's take your example. You might be quite familiar with Katia, someone else might be familiar with some other software. So it is not fair to generalize that. What we could do, we could have some basic analysis of an airfoil or something that we have also given in the mock question paper, if you have seen. So yes, you could have that. You could have that. Some basic analysis you would be required to do. Okay. But don't worry, it won't be very complicated because we understand that it is just a competency examination. You won't be asked to go into hardcore coding and other things. It might just be so that when you write that code, or you will give you some constraints, you will be asked to plot a graph or something. And that plotting of the graph, you can use any software for that. Okay. It will mostly
Oh,
be
I got
application.
it.
All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I think someone has written in the chat window something like online examination platform that you have camera mic option that we use. Okay, so like I said, there is no proctoring. There is not going to be any contact between me and you. There is not going to be any meeting like this. I am just going to send you the question paper online via WhatsApp, and I will post it on our NACDeC website. You are requested to work on it. Okay. Now from Aman, does a team have to submit a single answer doc or all members have to? Okay, no. So a team has to submit one final document. All right. So basically, you can divide the work amongst yourself, or two people can work on one problem and they document it, or whatever. That we leave up to you, however you want to crack that. But yes, one team, we are only expecting one response. All right. And we want the team leaders only to enter in the Google form details and then submit it. Okay. So I think I have already mentioned the exam duration. It is from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and you will get 30 minutes for scanning. And if you want to do some documentation, some last minute, formatting or whatever you want to do. So in totality, you can say that it is a 3 hour thing, 3:30 to 6:30. Okay. Will there be some particular format that you need to follow? No, there is no particular format that you need to follow while writing your answers. Just I would give you one advice that please try to be as detailed as possible when you're trying to give an explanation as to how did you come to that conclusion. For example, if you thought a value for CL should be 0.5 or zero point 0.6, what I'm more interested in, how did you come across this point? How did you think that it should be 0.5 or zero point 0.6? That is what I'm more interested in. Okay. I want to know what was your thinking behind it. What was your rationale? Please make sure that you are explaining every step in appropriate detail. I don't want you to go overboard and fill it with absolute nonsense, but please make sure that you are explaining everything in sufficient detail. All right. So this I've answered. So any constraints in pages, like can we make it more descriptive? See, that is completely up to you. There is no page limit, nothing. Okay. I don't want to do that. It is completely up to you. However, you feel free. It is just that we should be in a position to understand what you have written. Also, please, if you are going for handwritten things, please make sure that your handwriting is legible. We can make out what you have written. All right. Otherwise, it makes the evaluation process unnecessarily tedious. So please, you could use Word or some other software to type it out. You're just going to write. All right. A couple of other things that I want to, before I answer some other questions, I want to just give you a bit of a heads up, guys. So we are all you are all budding engineers, or some of you are master students. You all might know ways how to game the system. Okay. So let me give you a very big heads up. If we detect the use of chat GPT or any other things, because we have at IIT Bombay, we have some advanced plagiarism detecting software. All right. If we find that you have plagiarized, then you will be in trouble. It will lead to instant disqualification of the team. Also, we have tried our best to make a question paper in such a way that plagiarism won't help you that much. Okay. Because if you plagiarize, I don't think we are designing the question paper in any which way that you can plagiarize it. Okay. So plagiarism is a big no-no. Now the rest remains on your ethics and morals, because we say it is among five people. You could probably go to your professor and get it solved. Okay, but I would request you not to do that. Okay, that remains on your ethics and morals. Okay? That is something that you have to be answerable for yourself, and that is why if we are not convinced, we are going to conduct a viva post your submission of answers, in which we will scrutinize and get into every detail of how you have written and why you have written. Okay. Now let me see. Any constrained pages? No, sir. Can you report the software part? They're required only to plot the graphs. Majorly plotting of the graphs. It could also be some basic analysis, but I don't think for that you require any particular software per se. You could, there are a lot of online calculators that you can make use of. So see, anything with regards to software, we are going to take into account that there are multiple teams, and we are going to give a question such that it panders to multiple teams. Okay, that is there. Okay. Now, guys, I don't want you to type it in the chat box. Please just unmute and speak. I want it to be more interactive. Just unmute and ask your questions. If someone can't speak, then please type in the chat box. But otherwise, I want it to be interactive. All right. So I am open for questions. If you have any questions that you would like to ask now, will be a good time.
Sir, is it to be handwritten or else we can use any of the word or else any of the software to type and we can scan and we can share it, sir?
Both. You can do either. You can do either. Okay. You can either do a Word doc or anything, and you can upload that PDF file, or you can handwrite the document and scan it and then upload it. Just when you're handwriting the document, make sure that your handwriting is legible. That makes our life a bit easier. That's it.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
All right. Yes, next question. The question is, why was conducted only for some particular selected teams or for all teams? Harshit, actually, the answer to that question is I don't know, because that answer I'll only be able to give you once I get my hands on your answer scripts. If I feel that for majority of the teams I'm not able to understand what is written, the Viva will be conducted for all teams. Okay. Then we'll probably have to come up with a mechanism of having of some of a way to conduct vivas efficiently, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I don't know as per now, but you should consider for the time being that yes, vivas would be conducted for almost every month. Okay, until unless specified.
So the Viva will be conducted for like the whole team or the team leader only.
No, for the whole team, because it's a team effort, right? It's a team effort. All five of you or four of you have sat together and you have written the examination. So viva will be conducted for all of. It will be a group viva. It will not be individually. It will be a group viva.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Any other question? Anything with regards to NACDeC, problem statement, examination, anything?
So a little thing, question. There are some things that we need to know in the problem statement, like the mission profile there is. So I just want some particular things to know. So sir said that it will be after the exam. Those few details will be given after the exam. So I just wanted to know if those particular details will be given now or then afterwards only.
No, those details as discussed, you are referring to the last webinar, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so Kanik, what you could do is just send a mail to our ID, and those details will be released post the design competency examination only. Okay. For this examination, you don't require those details, right? So they will be provided to you once we are done with this examination. And on that day only, we will release all those details that you are requesting for post deliberation with the people from AD.
Yes. Okay, sir. I
Okay,
understand.
Akshat Patel, go ahead.
Yes, so I wanted to ask, like, if we're using some sort of like a research paper for the like exam, do we have to cite the sources or?
Yeah, it would help if you cite the source. It would help if you cite the source, because it will see mostly the questions are pretty basic in nature. So I don't think why are you going to a research paper for that. But if you feel that to convey your point, a research paper does justice, then sure, go ahead, cite it. It will make our life easier to help us understand. Just one thing I would like to mention is whenever you are looking up a research paper, please make sure that it's a credible one, because there are many papers out there which have given information which are actually not correct. So just make sure that the numbers which have been presented in the research paper make sense to you. Okay, that's it. Okay, yes, any other question? There's some in the chat box. Dhruv, go ahead.
So I wanted to ask whether in the questions, will there be some priority or difference in their marking systems, or all questions will be equal?
So Dhruv, regarding that, ideally all questions are considered to be equal. All questions, I mean 1 to 5, every question is considered to be equal. But there will be some theoretical questions as well, as you might have seen in the mock question paper as well. But for the mock, I don't want you to be in a position that you just answer the mock, just answer the theoretical question and do nothing else in those 3 hours. Okay. I
Okay,
want
sir.
you to be in a position that you attempt the maximum possible. Okay. I'm telling you that we want to check how adept you are, how skillful you are with answering questions in a limited amount of time frame. Okay. Because we are checking knowledge from in a huge domain. All right. From this flight mechanics to flight dynamics, aircraft design. There are a lot of things that we are testing. So I want you to answer as many questions as you can. Whatever you know and you know surely, please answer it. And if you are not sure of the answer, I at least want you guys to give it a try. Okay? Please do give
Okay.
it a try. Don't leave it blank. Because if you leave it blank, it is as good as saying you don't know anything. So that won't help us with evaluation. Please don't do that. If you're unsure about the final answer, it's okay. But what I want to see is your approach, because this is a year-long design competition. If you don't know how to work out the math, you have plenty of time to learn it. But if you don't know the basics, that's a big problem. So the major objective is to check if your basics are in place. Are you equipped enough to handle this level of problem statement? Okay. That is what this exam is testing. All right.
Sure, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, Akash has asked a question. Will all the questions be regarding only conceptual design? I want some more clarity. What do you mean with regards to that? So, if you have gone through our mock question paper, not all questions are on design. There are some questions on, like I said, stability. There is another question on flight performance, and there are a couple of other questions. So, no, all questions will not be on conceptual design, aircraft design. No. All right. Any other questions? And also one more thing I would like to mention that there will be questions, uh, in line with the problem statement. These questions which we have given you right now, they are mock question paper. That's a mock paper. But the final question paper will be more aligned to the problem statement. So make sure that you have an in-depth understanding of the problem statement and also what it entails, what all things you need to do for that. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, is it like if you are referring any of the books or any of the papers, is it necessary to mention those books and papers, sir?
Is it
Final document.
necessary to what?
Sir, if you are referring any of the papers or any of the textbooks or any references, is it necessary to mention those necessary references in the?
No. So, to answer your question with this, if you're using very, standard formulas, if you're using like very, industry grade formulas, which are very, very common in aerospace engineering, I don't expect you to cite them. Okay. If you are using some normal lift equation, drag equation, or something else, why will you cite it? If you are using a claim, or you are using some numbers or some relation, which is not very standard, then I would want you to cite that thing. Where have you gotten it from? But other than that, if it is very commonly known, then no need to do that.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I want to make your life easier that way. Aman, go ahead.
Hello, sir. I want to ask, while using airfoil data, do we need to mention the references because it is standard or not? I don't know.
It is standard. It is standard. So you could just, mention that we have done it on this software. That's it.
Okay, sir.
If you have used airfoil tools, if you have used XFLR5, if you have used something else, just do a quick mention. That's it.
Sure, sir.
Okay. And it could also help us if you put the photographs of whatever analysis that you get. That will also help, substantiating your claim. So that will be helpful. So make sure whatever you are writing, the more amount of detail you provide us, it will be more helpful for us to evaluate. That will just show us how serious you are about this event, and that is how we will understand. All right,
All
fine.
right, sir. Fine.
Kanik, you had another question. You had raised your hand, so please go ahead.
So I wanted to know, in the mock question paper, there's a condition written for ISA. So here we are referring to Indian standard atmosphere or international standard
International.
atmosphere,
They're using international.
international one.
Yes.
And for the actual problem statement, we have to consider the ISA or the IRA. Because
So,
in the previous meeting, sir said about IRA, Indian Reference Atmosphere, and there isn't much of information available about the Indian Reference Atmosphere.
okay, Kanik, so to answer your question, I don't agree with the fact that there's no information available. It might not be as accessible to you, but Indian reference atmosphere, the things are given. Just excuse me for a second. Okay, so to answer your question, the information about IRA is given, but mostly in the question paper, we will write whether to use ISA or not. If it is not mentioned, please feel free to use ISA and solve the questions. Okay, just write. Uh, since it was not given, we are assuming ISA conditions, and then you go ahead and you solve whatever you need to solve. Okay.
So that will be the international one now
Yes,
only.
international one. Go for the international one because see, in the 3 hours, I don't expect you to plot the data for Indian reference one if you don't have it readily available. Okay.
And also for the main examination or the main uh, conceptual design thing, we have to consider the international Indian atmosphere, Indian
Yes.
standard
Because
atmosphere.
there you have like a year, now you're talking about the problem, the entire competition, right? The further stages.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so please consider the Indian standard atmosphere, Indian
Oh,
reference
okay.
atmosphere.
Okay,
Just
sir.
for
I
this
understand.
examination, please go for international. The only reason we are doing that is that data for ISA is more readily available, international one. Okay. Hence, it will make your life easier if you work with that data point. That's it. Fine. There is one more question in the chat window. Let me just take that quickly. Will the questions be in the form of sub questions in the sample? Yes, that will be the case. It will be in the form of 1A, 1B, 1C, etc. etc. Okay. Okay. Yes. The pattern, that is what the objective of the mock paper was, to show you the pattern. Now, before I answer more questions, I have a question for you guys. How many of you, just a quick show of hands, how many of you actually went through the mock paper? Not just glance through it, actually just, saw it, spent some time with it. How many of you? Just quick show of hands, please. Okay. Okay. 8 to 9, 10 people, 10, 11. All right. 12. Fine. All right. Guys, I want to know what is your feedback on the question paper. What do you feel about the question paper? I want your comments, your suggestions. If you saw through the paper, if anyone has solved it, they can also give their insights. But what did you feel after seeing the question paper? Any one of you can, unmute and speak.
What I feel that it is very standard when related to design of a UAV. Like we just need to go through the altitude and find the range, endurance, sorry, row and those things. So I feel it's very basic, and we need to use the airfoil data also to go through it. So
So you
feel
found
it's
the
very
question paper to
standard.
be easy and
Not
basic.
easy, but standard, like approachable. It's
Okay,
the thing.
okay, okay, fine. Any other comment? Any positive, negative comment, anything, because that will help us because we are here to answer any query because there might be some parts that we have missed. So if you bring it to my notice, then I'll be in a better position to make sure that such a thing does not happen to you on the day of the final examination. Okay. So I want to hear more views on the question paper. Like Aman said, it's a standardized paper. And yes, we take that as a compliment because we strive to make it very standardized, very basic in such a way that it is very easy to understand at least, approachable. Okay. Any other feedback on the question paper from you guys? Or all of you happy with the question paper that is set? Did anyone solve the question paper so far?
Okay,
Like,
so for me, I just checked the questions, but I think it's a standard question paper.
okay, all right. Anyone else who actually went, solved the questions and discussed with their teammates, how would we approach it? What should we do to answer those questions? Anything?
Sir, as we got the question paper today, we were seeing like how could we approach the problems, because it's not only related to the textbook and as well as the references. We should put analysis as well. Look, we have sums as well. We have approaches, different approaches, because we should also look after to the airfoil tools as well as the flight dynamics as well, sir. So we were thinking how could we approach the different problems and how could we divide the work among us, because as we see the flight dynamics, it replaces most of the things. We should also think after the airfoils, and there are few questions which are related to the shock waves as well as the cloud formation as well. So we're thinking how could we approach these formulas as well as the sums. It was really little bit standardized as well as good, approachable and thinking capability. We can think more related to the, it was like we should sit and be in that position, like altitude and as well as densities. We should think in those different conditions, and we should approach the problems with thoughts.
Yes, that is a very apt description. And so major objective when we were setting the question paper was that, you are all going to be budding engineers. You are all budding engineers. We wanted to approach a problem how it is actually approached in the real world. In your real world, your textbooks are just for reference. Okay, no one will give you an actual problem which will require you to actually just copy paste what you have seen in the textbook. If the world were that simple, it won't need engineers. Okay? So we
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to be equipped
Yes,
for all the difficulties that will come in the real world, and that is why we are preparing you. And that is the objective of this competition. And please don't be under the assumption that you will be simply able to plug and put some formulas. No question will be like that. Every question will keep you on your toes, will require you to think in detail, and then come up with the answer. Okay. There might be some questions which are a bit easier than the others, but needless, there will be questions where you are required to have a detailed understanding of your concepts, aerospace engineering concepts. Okay. Any other feedback you have? Any suggestions that you want to give with regards to the question paper where you felt that, this is not something which should have been given, or, this is not something that we are required to know? Do you have any feeling? Any one of you?
Okay, so for me, I think since we were given the question paper something like a few hours ago, I think it would be justice to give us some time to look at the question paper, then get back to you maybe on in the group and say whether it's okay or not. Because for some of us, we just ran through it, but we didn't attempt the questions.
All right, that makes sense. So what you could do is, so yeah, I get your point, Glenn, and that's a valid concern that since many of you did not get a whole lot of time to, sit with the question paper, I get it. So you could take a couple of days and then, after you have analyzed it and, gone through things and discussed with your teammates, if you feel that, there are some things that you need to discuss and it's not okay, and so you could either send us a mail or you could write it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. And from there, we will see what best we could do to answer the query if you have. Okay. That is how we'll take it.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. There's okay. Any other questions, guys? Do you have any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir. Regarding the vapor cone question that we had, how are we supposed to elaborate more on that question, sir? We can say that it is due to the formation of expansion fan and that the temperature at that point is lower than dew point. What more are we expected to explain in that question, sir?
See, understand the objective. We have just given you a photograph. Now, every time that vapor cloud is not formed, right? The vapor cone, what we are wanting to know, why is the structure of the cone forming, what exactly is the aerodynamics happening, and why is that shape taking place. You need to explain everything in detail, that okay, this is why it's happening, this is how it matters, this is how it works. Okay, you don't need to just give a 1 or 2 line explanation, oh, this is because of supersonic speeds. Everyone knows that. So we need you to explain why exactly, what conditions are leading for it to form a particular cone shape structure. Okay. Go into detail of that. And you could support it with whatever, if you want to show some equations, any graphs, that I leave completely up to you. You just need to convince me that you are explaining this is how the phenomena is occurring. Okay, for example, if I was giving you a photo of a rainbow, then you can't explain me that, oh, this is because of simple optics principle. No, you have to explain that because there are different wavelengths, etc., etc. You have to explain it to me. That is how it works. Okay, I hope that was clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Someone else has raised their hand. I think I missed that. Go ahead, whoever had raised their hand. All right. Okay, fine. Um, okay, guys, I have a quick question. Can you tell me if you are all comfortable with the dates, right? I hope it is not during any of your exam season. I mean, we were assuming that your semester might be over by then. For some of you, the new semester might have started. Is there any team for which the exam is clashing with your exams? Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Date is fine. All right, date is fine. No need to change. Okay, I don't think so. Perfect, perfect. Got it. So yeah, we will not change. Also, a quick confirmation that I need from you, that I'm sure you might have received your confirmation, right? My colleague Prachi had confirmed your participation regarding the payments. If there is anything with that regard, you could send us a mail, or if you want to quickly just discuss that, we could do that as well. But I think you are all confirmed for registration. That's as far as I know. Okay. But it would be really great if we could get a little extra time. A little extra time. Okay, how much time do you want?
So by time, I mean like the date could be extended a little forward.
No, Kanik, I don't think that is possible because this was announced way before, way in advance, and this would
Yes, I understand.
it might matter. And this is a standardized examination. 1 week also, I don't think you'll be able to do much. But any which ways, we are not going to change 12.
Yes, sir, no problem. Thank
We have not gotten the list of teams. Team Vajra, what will you do with the list of teams?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So for the registration confirmation, we have only received one mail for our confirmation of that we have submitted the Google form. That's it, right?
Also, once you were added in the WhatsApp group, there was a message sent by my colleague Prachi, who said that your team's registration has been confirmed.
Yes, sir. It's starting at percent.
Okay, so then you are confirmed that way. Okay. Yes. Team Vajra, what do you just for confirmation? No, it's fine. No, we are not going to change the dates. That is for sure. No, we have confirmed your team. If you are unsure, you could write us a mail. We will give you confirmation personally. But I don't think that requires us to send you a list of all the teams who are participating. I don't think that that information is going to do you any good. All right. So yeah, Team Vajra, we are not going to share that currently. Any other questions, guys, that you have? It was shared in the WhatsApp group. The detailed list of teams was shared in the WhatsApp group. I don't think so. I don't think so. You probably will have to check. I'm not so sure about that. As far as I remember, that never happened. But okay, in any case. All right, guys, we are almost ending our thing to our time. Any other questions, or you would ask to ask some questions? If not, then I would like to give some concluding remarks, and then we could close this. This is the time you could ask questions and probably get, because there's no question as a silly question. Ask everything, anything and everything. It is better to be sure than to be unsure.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Lakshman.
My team has like I've sent you a mail regarding the payment confirmation, but I haven't received any response for that. So, like, is my team registered officially or something like that?
Lakshman, you got the message on the WhatsApp group, right? That
Yes.
so all the teams who are, see, what we did was we went through the payment details, and only the team leaders were added in the group. And once we saw that, okay, it makes sense, we removed all the people who are not confirmed, and the group only contains members who are confirmed. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Got it.
Anyone who is in the WhatsApp group, they have been confirmed by our team, and we have received payment for them. So no need to worry about that. Okay. If we find there is some discrepancy, we will get in touch with you. But so far we have not found it. So no need to worry. But if we do, we will get in touch. Okay. Fine. Any other question, query?
So I have a little query regarding the teammates in our team. Like, if there is some problem with a particular teammate or like some person in the team, so are they and they are not willing to be appearing for the exam or anything else. So is it possible to change a teammate or not?
Yeah, Kani, so that's also a valid question. Many times what happens is people, they are interested once the competition is announced and they sign up very quickly. But, sometimes after that they lose interest. And that is, we have seen that. So if you feel that there is an issue, we want you to send a mail, and we will ask you to do a re-registration. I mean, not pay the money once again. Whoever replacement you have, you need to fill up that form and get your HODs or whatever signature on that, and with a mail officially requesting, and you can just attach that document. Okay, that these are the list of new members. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, I think there are no further questions. If there are, you could connect with me personally as well, or you could send me, okay, one more thing. Please don't send me personal messages. I will not be responding to personal messages. If you have questions, please write them on the group. Until unless your message is really personal, because if it is regarding your team, then yeah, you can connect with me on a personal basis. But if it is not, if it is very generic to the competition, I would request you to please keep all your queries limited to the WhatsApp group or our email. Please don't send mails or messages to our personal IDs. That goes for all the members of the organizing committee. Okay, because we have taken a policy decision not to answer queries that way until unless we will check if it is really something sensitive and we need to answer it on a personal basis, then we'll do that. Otherwise, not. Um, Now, I would like to close this webinar by saying couple of things. Number one, guys, take this exam a bit seriously because this is not like other examination. We have tried our level best to, come up with a question paper that is challenging as well as fun at the same time. Okay? We have tried to give you a flavor of what it feels like to actually be a designer and give you a taste of what is to come in this competition, what all we expect from you. Okay? If you are able to answer such questions or at least, get into the details of how to answer such questions, I think you are going to do great as an engineer in general. So what I want you to do is just be curious. Just be curious as to what you want to, what is asked in the particular question and be very specific. If we are asking something, please don't give us don't beat around the bush. Come straight to the point and explain it in detail. Okay? But specifically towards the point. You don't need to, this is not your CBSE or board answers. Then you need to write a lot of history. Not required. Okay. Just you need to convince me that you understand what you are doing. Okay. Since NACDeC-VIII was opened to multiple disciplines this year, we want to check, do you have it in you to basically be an aircraft designer or undertake this exercise as an aircraft designer? Okay. Because from here on out, the problem only gets tougher and tougher. Okay. So we want you to see if you can actually cut it here. Okay. That's point number one. Point number two, I would again like to reiterate that there is no need to, take unnecessarily load for this examination. Please don't indulge in any of the unethical or immoral practices. We will not be able to confirm it, but you're doing a disservice to yourself. Okay. And to your institute. Please don't do that because see, if not today, in the further rounds, we are definitely going to have vivas. Okay? And there we are going to catch you red-handed if you're not able to understand. So that is something that we don't want you to do. Please approach it in a very professional way. Be serious about the examination. I want you to be curious about the entire process. And I want you to, ask questions. Keep asking questions, technical questions also. Because I want you guys to sit and solve the question paper. Then you will understand what was actually the difficulty level. Because, perusing through the paper and actually sitting with the question paper for solving, Uh, we will see that, true. We will see that. We understand there's a gate examination and other things, but we'll see. If there is a need, then for I think 20 to 30 minutes, you will have to make yourself available. I think that much time you can definitely spend. And also true, just to answer one more point, if we do plan to conduct a Viva, it will be really just after you complete your written examination because we are very quick with our evaluation time. So it will be very soon if we go ahead with the conduction of Viva. So no need to worry on that. We will not stretch it till February or something. That will not happen. Also, one more thing that I want you to remember is until and unless the results of the design competency examination is released, please consider that you are selected for the further stages. Please don't stop your work and say, okay, we are still unsure whether we are proceeding towards the next stage or not. Hence, we don't know and we have not worked. That doesn't cut it. Continue working and In the meantime, we will release the results for the examination, design competency examination. Also, we will not be entertaining any queries as to why were we not selected. Okay, if you do get rejected, we might have a very strong reason of rejecting you. We will not entertain a reason as to why we were rejected. If you want details, we will provide them. But we don't want to entertain any correspondence on that issue because that in one way is questioning our judgment. But if you have queries, we'll be happy to address them. Okay, but we will not reconsider our decisions. Like, could you please reconsider your decision to discontinue the team? We won't be doing that. If you're discontinued, it's discontinued. It's a binary decision. Okay, that is one point. Second, yeah, guys, I think I've said a lot. Enjoy the process, and I hope you have fun with the examination. And we are here to support you any which way we can. And just try to be engineers. That's it. That's all I would like to say. Any questions? Otherwise, we can cut. No questions? Okay, fine then. I thank you all for attending this webinar, and I'm here for another 3 or 4 minutes. Anyone who does not wish to discuss anything, you could leave the meeting. If anyone would like to discuss anything, I'm here for another 5 minutes to take your questions or queries. Otherwise, please feel free to leave this meeting. Good evening, and thank you so much for it. I'm going to stop the YouTube live streaming as well. And